little cheating trick. You can now take these and you can fold them over to make a little bit more. But one of the things I like to do is take a second pie pan, take that, turn it over, grab your paring knife, and just like that. Turn it back up. Gently pull that out, and then boom, we have our pie. Okay? So we're gonna set that aside. I'm just gonna go pop this in the fridge because we wanna cool that dough down. We've worked it, we've excited all that gluten again. So you just wanna let it relax. All right. Now what we're going to do is roll out our crust. Top of it. Okay. So again, we're going to roll 2 pie doughs out of this. I've got 2 different toppers. Now the toppers, again, you want to start round. I can't stress this enough. Oh, actually, that would have been cool. So if you look at this, the same technique, that's that layering again, okay? So you can see all the layers of butter in there. It's going to make a really flaky crust. All right? So we're going to start round because we want to finish round. I'm going to roll 2 different kind of styles of pie dough here. I'm going to show you guys 2 different sort of pie techniques. So a little bit of pastry flour on top and side on the bottom. We're going to gently roll it. Got that roll. My dough, again, I can tell is at the right temperature because as I'm doing that, it's not sort of breaking away on me. It's not falling apart. It's not crumbling. Oh, there we go. I think that was just my user error. Again, pastry flour or any other kind of flour, just lightly dusted on your table is a great idea here. All right. And if you find that your dough is starting to stick to your rolling pin, you can just take a little bit of that flour and then put it on your rolling pin. All right. So this is just going to be our pie topping. We're going to roll this out maybe a little bit thinner, but not too much. And we're just going to take this guy like this, cut a round out of it, just enough to cover. All right. Now, while this is still flat on the table, I'm going to create a steam hole in this pie. It's really important to create a hole because what will happen if you don't, that steam from the pie is just going to rise up and it needs somewhere to go. If it rises up and it's trapped, at some point the pressure is going to build up in your pie and it's just going to explode out of your dough. So cutting a little, just kind of in the middle, little fluted hole, just like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to take this pie dough very gently off the table. Oh, it's going to stick on me. This is actually good. You guys will see this. So another trick, you have a spatula. Just a regular spatula will help. What happened is I rolled my dough onto a spot right there where there's a little bit of butter. Now I'm just going to take this and throw it onto a piece of parchment paper. And then when I'm ready for it, I can just dump it on top. Okay? Mm-hmm. So next, I'm just gonna scrape down my table. One of the things when you're making pie, you wanna have just a floured table. So if you're starting to get a little bit of sticking, a little bit of butter, just scrape that away. Off to the side. Throw down a little bit more flour, and then we'll roll out our next piece of dough. Okay? Any questions? This is such a cool event. I'm so glad we got to take part in it this year. It was always fun taking students, because so normally what we would do when you guys would do these events before, we would take our students to the big lab, our big production lab, and then we would sheet our dough. We'd make our dough in a mixer, and then we would portion it off, but we would roll it. If anybody doesn't know what a sheeter is a rolling pin, an automatic rolling pin essentially. So it goes back and forth on a belt. You kind of roll your dough down, roll it down, pick a thickness, roll it down, and just keep working it that way. So it's pretty cool. But we don't usually have a lot of reasons to use it. We don't do a lot of that kind of stuff for the cafe. So it was always a fun event to do.
Yeah. Yeah, Amr is saying that it would be great if we can do future events in person like this. That would be great.
Cannot wait. I'm in. I don't care. If we get to do things in person again, I'm down. Let's do it.
We have another question. How many
Great.
pies do you think you've baked in your life, Chef? That's from one
How many? I have honestly no idea. I went through a phase when I worked at a private club, and one of the members said it would be so nice if we had like a rotating pie menu. So for about a year and a half, I got really into making pies, all kinds of different pies. So I would make a new pie every day. And then the day before my days off, I'd make 3 pies and I'd store them in the freezer. So 7 a week, 7 different pies a week, 5 of each pie. So, let's do the math. 7 times 5 times 52.
Okay, we have more math here. Awesome. Wow.
You get to a point where you start to do different things, making different crusts, high ratio crust, graham cracker crust. One of my favorites. All right, I'm just gonna grab our pie dough and we're gonna get ready to put them in the oven. Okay. So I use that word through the magic of television. We have 2. So we have 2 different pies here. One is a fluted edge. So basically I just took my pie dough and I crimped it like this, kind of going around to give it that kind of fun edge. And then one is the one you just saw roll. So we're gonna come back over to our apples here. We're gonna give them another toss. And now you're gonna see how much liquid has come out of those apples. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is just give them a quick toss again. Get all that beautiful apple pie liquid. And now we're going to start filling our pie. Now we want to remember that when we're filling our pies, more is more because apples shrink, right? We don't want to underfill it because let's face it, nobody wants a pie that doesn't have enough filling in it. So really take the time to get it in there. Okay. All right, that's our first pie. So on our crimped edge pie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that first topper that we made, that we rolled out with our fun sort of shape in the middle. And I'm going to free float this. So we're going to make like a free sort of floating crust on the top. So all we're going to do is sort of push it, and we just want to push it underneath our other pie dough, like our shell, okay? Okay, just like that. That's it. There's our pie. So 1 of 2 pies. Again, same dough, same filling, same everything, but it's going to be a totally different looking pie. Just going to make sure. I need to roll this guy. I'm just going to grab another piece. I feel like this one's getting a little too thin. That I'll use for another pie. That's the nice part about being in the local. We can always use stuff up for other things. So the best part about having like a daily pie is, you know, one day we have a case of blueberries that's extra. Cool, we're gonna make a blueberry mascarpone pie. So I'm just gonna roll another one of these out as a topper. And then that pie dough, maybe we'll make some fun shapes, or we can cut a lattice. Do some different stuff. Okay. All right. Time to fill our second pie. So the dough that you guys, the recipe that you have, will make 2 11-inch pies with toppers. If you want to make more, you can make smaller pies. Individual pies are always fun. Or you can make what's called a hand pie. Hand pies are really cool. They're like McDonald's apple pies. I really like those. Making hand pies, that is. Just gonna wash my hands. Okay, where is mine? All right, let's roll out this topping. So this looks really full over the top of it, but it's everything in the pie is gonna shrink down. So if you think your pie is too full, just wait. It more than likely it's gonna shrink down and you're gonna have a really nice pie. If you do overfill it, it's not the end of the world. I like the pies that like break open in a certain spot and then like they spill that sugar liquid over and it runs down the crust and it caramelizes a little bit extra. Like that's what I love.
Oh my God, we are.
I like the imperfect looking pies. I don't want like the overly manicured pies. Like here, when we bake this apple juice and the sugar is going to kind of bubble up from the sides and sort of caramelize all of this. So really, really good. I'm really excited. Eat some pies today. So Pie Day was yesterday, right?
Yes, that's right. March 14th, 3.14.
So like Pie Day, like 2015 would have been like the year for Pie Day.
Yeah, once in 100 years, I think it comes. Yeah, something like that event. It's amazing.
That's awesome. All right. So we're gonna again cut our steam hole in the middle, and it's really important to cut that hole, like I said, because we need a place that steam to escape. And we're just gonna lay this one over top. Pull it so it doesn't bunch up too much. Okay. And then we're gonna just seal our pie dough or our pie. And you'll notice as this pie cooks, it won't be. It looks really high right now. Like there's a lot of apples in here, and there are. But as it kind of cooks and cooks down, those apples start to soften. It won't be that big at the end. Okay. So we're just gonna seam our pie, make it look